Gemini, Gemini. Welcome to your tarot reading for the month of December. Now, if you've never had a reading with me before, then the way I do these is I give you a general overview of your main energy throughout the month. Then I also pull a card to show you a particular tension point or stressor that could be affecting you at this month. And the last card that I pull offers you a practical solution or approach that you could adopt to make most out of your energy in the month of December. So, lovely to have you here, Gemini. And if, as you're listening to the reading, some things don't resonate, feel free to get rid of them and allow yourself to hold the things close to your heart that feel resonant and important to you. So, Gemini, let's get the party started. Please, what's your main energy this December? Let me know. What is it? What's your current situation? What's the context? What have you been through recently? And what are you moving towards? So, we got Eight of Cups. Cups in tarot represent emotions. Being a water element, cups represent our relationships and our friendships and how we emotionally put ourselves out there. And Eight of Cups is an interesting card because it shows that you are emotionally mature, Gemini. Congratulations. Um, the person in the card is ready to sort of have the last gulps, the last sips from these cups, and then commit to embarking on a journey through the mountains. And it's important that they are traveling alone. They're sort of presenting themselves as a sage, as a hermit, as someone who is committing to a journey of self-discovery. So it feels to me with this card that you have had a maybe a turbulent relationship or just some emotional dynamics, whether they are in your friend group or at work or in other wider social circles. You've had these relationships which made you feel smaller and which made you feel responsible and stressed, and you have come to a point where you realize that the best solution, the best approach in this dynamic is to retreat, to give yourself time to go and rediscover yourself and learn learn about who you actually are emotionally and what your needs are and what friendships don't work for you anymore, and basically you are embarking on a journey to a mountain, which to me represents a step-by-step climb, and it is a gradual process, and it is a um, solitary process of getting to know yourself, of learning what sort of cliff you are, uh, what sort of things grow on you, what sort of mountain animals inhabit you, and that all represents different aspects of your personality, your hobbies, your wants, and your needs. And with Eight of Cups, this month of December is really good for you to focus on yourself and prioritize yourself and commit to leaving the unhelpful or unhealthy situations behind and leave them for for yourself, for your benefit, for self rediscovery. Um, it is definitely a an emotionally mature decision to be realistic with the things that don't work for you nor for others anymore, and to take yourself out of the situation and sort of fill your own cups, and then taking and carrying your own cups um, to a mountain. And you will go into this mountain, you will disappear for some time, but when you re-emerge back into real life, back into society, back into relationships and friendships, you will feel more grounded and more solid and more sure of what sort of relationships work for you, and you'll just be wiser. So, Gemini, um, I want to congratulate you on leaving things behind that don't work for you, because it does require emotional strength and determination and also courage to commit to this journey of self discovery. So, the next card that I will pull will show us what you might feel resistant to this month, what could be stressing you out. Okay, and for our tension point, we got the Hierophant. Okay. The Hierophant represents order and knowledge and learning. So this month, even though you want to commit to relearning about yourself and commit to taking yourself out of situations that don't work for you anymore, you might be struggling in the sense that you don't know what the expectations in the situation are. What basically, what's the code of conduct? What's the acceptable way of acting? You might be struggling if you are taking yourself out of situation in which you feel um, like you're gonna break the rule, like unspoken rule. If you sort of retreat and take out your emotional resources out of the situation, out of this friendship, you might feel like the entire structure of it will fall apart if you don't follow the expectations from your environment. So the Hierophant here feels like the societal expectations, like the societal rules and obligations that we're expected to follow to sort of keep the peace. So this could be that the external rules, expectations, and dogmas are draining you and preventing you from feeling like you are able to retreat and that you're able to prioritize yourself and sort of hibernate in discovering yourself. I feel like you might want to sort of hide from external world this month. But you might be feeling like if you retreat now and if you don't participate, then when you come back, you will not understand anymore how to function in the real world and how to interact with your friends or your loved one if you're taking a break to have some space or have some time for yourself to rearrange your priorities, to crystallize your goals and your emotional needs. So I feel like this Hierophant here is representing the part of you or someone external around you who is sort of, as you are about to walk towards a mountain and as you are about to commit, someone like calls your attention and is like, what about me? What about this commitment that you made? What about this rule that you're supposed to follow? And as I said, it could be someone around you, it could be a person that is putting expectations on you, but it could also be a representation of your internal dialogue, right? This is the part of you that wants to keep things by the book, keep things conventional, follow the tradition, right? And this is the bit that wants to take yourself out of the situation and reevaluate and sort of reborn, reemerge with a new perspective and a new layer of emotional understanding and emotional maturity. Okay. Interesting interesting dialogue going on here, Gemini. I would say since we've got the moon here next to the Eight of Cups, trust your gut, and even if something's unconventional, not traditional, or goes against the grain, if it's for yourself only, then you are not harming anyone. So trust your gut and retreat from expectations. So, what could we offer Gemini as a practical advice this month? This is a deck that I made for this artsy event, and it's basically tarot. It just has a summarized message for each card written on the cards. So let's see what tarot, what practical focused tarot cards are offering you this month, Gemini. How could you, I guess, subvert things, subvert rules, expectations, regulations, how you could play with the rules, how you could mold them, and how you could make sure that the routines and structures that you're functioning in are not something that is restricting you, but is something that works for you and is something that gives you a sense of self-agency, is something that you consciously choose. Okay. So for your advice this month, in regards to Eight of Cups and the Hierophant, we have Seven of Swords and Ten of Pentacles. Now, Seven of Swords talks about your mindsets, about the mental activity, which, Gemini, you are the master of. So this month, be discerning with your mindsets and ask yourself, is this mindset helpful or is it unhelpful? So Seven of Swords talks about being meticulous and conscious with your choice of mindsets. It's imagine as if you had seven swords that you could pick up and look at and evaluate, and each of these swords represent a perspective or a way of thinking or a mental loop that you could go down on. And some of these swords are more helpful than the others. Some of them are sharper, some of them are more balanced, some of them are fair. Whereas the others, like nothing is wrong with them, but are they helpful to you? So if you are finding it hard to leave a situation, if you're feeling stuck and if you feel like you can't commit as you are in this crossroad and at this turning point of what's expected for you and what is good for your own self, then if you are preventing yourself from taking yourself out of the situations that don't work for you, ask yourself, is this helpful in the long run? Or is me taking a break, taking a pause, is this helpful for me in the long run? And the next piece of advice that we got is Ten of Pentacles. And Ten of Pentacles talks about vitality, abundance, practical success and achievement at your work, at your home environment, and also at your community as a whole. So Ten of Pentacles is asking you to recognize the things that you are abundant in and bring yourself and others security, stability, and comfort. So with these two cards popping up as our advice, I would say that you are in a position where you are successful, abundant, and you will see the fruits of your labor come into your life, and you will be also in a position where you are able to sort of soberly judge and discern what ways of talking to yourself, what ways of expressing yourself to others are helpful for you, and which ways are not healthy for you anymore, or that which ways don't feel integral to you anymore. And I feel like if you focus on appreciating your mental sharpness, but also balancing it with appreciating the things that you have in your environment and being grateful for them, you will realize that you're definitely strong enough to move away, move forward, and move upward. And through that you will address this tension point, which this month could be a rule that you have either imposed on yourself subconsciously, or something that has been taught to you unconsciously as you were growing up, some sort of expectation that you want to break free from, that's currently annoying you, I feel like. So, Gemini, you're on the path of entering the mountain and realizing that you are such a great friend to yourself, and you have so much to offer yourself and the world around you. So don't be afraid to, I guess, like catalog the ways you think, the ways you interpret things, and just sort of do a pre-holiday cleaning of your mindset and get rid of the things that are not efficient anymore and the things that make you feel efficient, fast, and communicative, and allowing of self-development. Keep those things close. In your toolbox, in your toolkit, in your heart, and allow your gut and your hunches to show you which things feel like an obligation and which things you can leave behind and move from. So, Gemini, um, if you have stayed with me till this, and if you have stayed with me till the end of your reading, I want to thank you, and I will also want to thank you for allowing me to hang with you today and get a glimpse into what you are going through this December, and also get inspired into being emotionally mature and accepting reality checks, and just being grateful for the sobriety of being self-sufficient and efficient. So, Gemini, have a lovely rest of December, and I'll see you for the readings in the new year. Bye.